Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the InfinityCast. My name is Jason OCE, Community Manager here at Lightmare Studios. Joining me as always, we have lead designer, Agent Coyle.
Hello.
We have lead programmer man, Mr. Reuben Covington.
Nice to be here, Ben.
And we've also got a new face on the table, Corey Hendo, who's our new coder guy. Welcome, Corey.
Cheers. Happy to be here.
So before we jump into things, just to set expectations, do you listen to podcasts, Corey?
No.
Do you listen to our podcast?
No.
Have you ever been on a podcast?
No.
And you feel right at home?
I'm ready to go.
All right, perfect,
Let's do
easy.
it.
And we get to start off with something that's pretty hype. Go ahead.
And that is the
Beta's finally
here! So yay.
That's going to be a nightmare to edit up
I
to
was
make
just
sure
saying
it's,
the same
yeah, it's
thing, blew out the
completely
levels.
peaked. Oh God, okay.
That's all right. Yay.
Anyway, Beta's finally here. Go ahead.
So, after all this time, and we are late, but we are heading into beta. And it's super exciting. There's been all this great stuff that we've been working on that we're going to talk about in the podcast. But the main point is that, 3 days from now, you'll be seeing it launch. So get ready, get spreading the word, and let's get into the podcast.
So, to help launch with the whole Infinity Heroes thing, we're also going to be giving a little bit of additional communication as to what we're currently up to and where things are going. Elf, you want to talk us a little bit more about that?
That's right. So after many, many years of making big promises and under-delivering, what I've decided to do now is for us to create a living roadmap. And so what that looks like is it'll basically just be a sliding scale that talks about what's coming out next month, and what's coming out the 2 months after that, as well as just showing what's happened over the last couple of months in case you weren't with us. And that way we'll be able to be agile in our development, listen to your feedback more, and be able to implement things and ideas like a certain little mode that we're about to talk about in a moment.
Yeah.
But look out for that. Sorry, look out for that that roadmap, and we're just going to put that everywhere, and you can just refer to that and see what's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. The way that this game's actually getting out there to the world and everything, we've got people who backed on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. You'll be receiving your codes via private message as well as via email. If you backed at a certain tier that got you friend invites, those will all also be sent out as well in probably a separate email, could be attached to the same thing. And as a part of this whole thing, we've also got a Steam page coming up, I believe. It's currently on track to be released approximately at the same time. It might be a little bit late because Steam takes a little bit of time to verify stuff, etc. But we'll also have a Steam store page for Infinity Heroes.
Yeah.
Reuben, do you want to talk a little bit about the new exciting things that are also coming up?
Yeah. So as well as the beta, people are going to finally get a chance to look at some exciting new parts of the game that we've been working on, including something that Elfie and I are very excited about, a roguelike mode.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit distracted because we keep going off target on who's going to be talking about what on the on the little
as long as we
board
hit
over
the
there.
points, we
We'll
don't
hit
need
all
to
the
worry.
points and give everyone a chance to talk. So
Yeah.
Awesome. We are excited about the roguelike. Both Reuben and I are pretty big fans of those kind of games, and it's been really inspired by games like Slay the Spire, and there's even like adventure modes in other games like Minion Masters. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff out there that, and even the Hearthstone one that they did at one point.
The Kobolds and Catacombs modes and stuff.
So I've spent the better part of most of my holiday gaming time playing every roguelike that I can get my hands on, especially the ones that have cards. And we're basically very happy with what we've got so far as the very first pass on our single play experience, which will become this roguelike experience for Infinity Heroes. Not much else we can say. Anything else we can say about that?
It's designed as a really good solo mode where you can try out lots and lots of different cards. You can play against lots of cards you might not be used to, and as well as all the regular cards, we have certain special neutral cards that only appear in this game mode, which can do really exciting effects and make really powerful things happen.
And basically, it's a great way of us to be able to do some kind of customization within your experience of Infinity Heroes. It's definitely been a massive request from people, and obviously we're putting as much of the customization as possible into the upcoming IW2 prototype that we'll be working on, and we're currently in pre-production for at the moment. So a lot of that customization we're going to put into Infinity Wars 2, of course, but we still wanted to have something there on a mobile / cross-platform experience that people can do and just have lots of really interesting decisions they have to make over time, rather than being daunted by going, here's 700 cards, how do I make a deck? Players new to card games and new to the Infinity Wars card games, they'll be able to get into this and have a little play with that, edit their deck as they go, and have a taste for it, so they have an even bigger reason to jump into Infinity Wars 2.
Yeah. And Corey, we've got lots of other features coming out in the beta. Did you want to talk about some of the things we've been adding in the last month or two?
Yeah. There's some new sound effects coming in, as well as some original music from the original Infinity Wars, the old classic ones. And also there's a couple new rounds of Battlefield user interfaces for both mobile and PC platforms. So it'll be a nice sort of gameplay experience to sort of see those in play.
Yeah, a couple of those are looking really, really nice. We've got the ones set up, a special version of the new standard match background for the alpha backers, and then we've got the one for the beta backers, which is the Dragon Factory, which will certainly stay exclusive for beta backers for a while, until we maybe release it from the vault many months or years on, who knows. At this point, we've got those building right now, and then we're also going to be working on some more soon. So the battlefields look amazing. They definitely add it makes it look like a whole different game.
I will definitely vouch for that. Like when I saw the concept images coming through for the beta battlefields and stuff, I got super excited because it made it look so much nicer, and it felt like an actual fully fledged game at that point. I got super excited to see them develop, and as the process went, they just got a little bit better every single time new updated stuff came through, and now they look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see how they go.
And so currently they're just going to be fixed for the beta, but once we have the store come out and other features, we're going to be having them as something you can purchase, you can trade out, you can swap around which one you have, and means two different players can have their own sections of the battlefields, ending up with the kind of mix and match whenever you play against others, so you can show it off to your friends and your opponents. Yeah,
and so we'll definitely be keeping the battlefields, at least I just want to make sure there's no misinterpretation around that. I would only want to put the pre-order or the alpha and beta battlefields out to the general public after at least a year beyond it being released. So it will be quite an exclusive item for a time, so there's a darn good reason to jump into the Infinity Heroes beta now.
There's also things we can do with giving them a rustic version or something that distinguishes it from not being the original. League of Legends did it with their PAX skins, where if you had the PAX Prime skins from 2013, you got a little bit of extra class. And they could sell the skins that were just the normal versions, but the people that got the originals had a little bit of extra prestige to them.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing for the alpha one, because we thought it'd be a bit of a waste. It's such a beautiful background that we're we need to make this the actual primary background for Infinity Heroes, and we've only got a couple of handsful worth of alpha backers, so you guys will be getting and like you're saying there, an exclusive version of that, whereas the normal version without the overgrowth will be the standard background, but the beta one won't be the case. So we won't, like I said, it'll be at least a year beyond release that we'll actually make that available to other people. So you'll certainly be getting the exclusivity on that for quite a while.
And so we're excited for you all to try out the beta when it launches, and you can see all the features yourself firsthand.
Yeah, have a play.
Easy.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Infinity Wars?
Let's do that.
Sure.
Let's do that.
You can go ahead.
So, just to be straight with you guys, and I did just check the numbers today, and Jason can verify that, it does actually cost us $2,500 a month at least to keep the servers up for Infinity Wars. We've been doing that, and I've been choosing to do that for the longest time. But frankly, it's now that we're bringing out Infinity Heroes into beta, we would like to be able to use those resources that are currently keeping our server up, that has a maximum number of peak players of being 4 for the last year.
It was actually 12 at one
Sorry,
point, but
I'm sure there
it's
were
generally
highlights.
4.
It was generally 4. Thank you for
Generally
the correction.
4.
He does keep me on point. So it was generally 4 for the last year, and that 2,500, we can do a lot with that, and we can especially do a lot with that for for our pre-production for Infinity Wars 2, which is where we're going to be redirecting the majority of those funds. Obviously, we can use some of that for Infinity Heroes as well. And the key point here is that the Infinity Heroes engine we've been building in the background is the thing that we're going to be building Infinity Wars 2 on in the end. It might look visually quite different, but it might not. But basically, we want to use those resources towards something that you guys can actually use and play and get excited about. And that's 2020, not 2014. So that's our reasoning behind that. So because of that, we'll be going to be basically suspending the servers for the time being to be able to use those resources better. Jason, any other points on that?
I mean, like, I looked at the numbers and I think it was like 80 people log in over the course of a month. So each person that logged in essentially cost us like $120. When you think about the numbers in that sort of way, it didn't really align up. Also, my math was completely wrong there. Please don't quote me on that. But yeah, essentially these are just, we had to reschedule our resources to try and make better use of not only the team here, but when we want to start adding in new things and potentially growing the team, we need to have the resources to be able to do that. And one of the things that we need to mention is that this is a suspension, not a close down, because we do have intentions to bring back the servers. Having said that, playing devil's advocate here, there is a chance that they might just not come back. We're definitely making a huge effort to try and make sure that that is something we can do. We're going to have backups on top of backups to make sure that we can just get everything out there as soon as we have the resources and the funds ready to do it, but that might not happen. So just as long as you guys understand our intentions are to, do everything we can to make sure that's a possibility, and then just leave it open to see what happens. And
of course, we're going to be taking backups upon backups of all the resources and the server files, so we can actually look at and keep a track of everything that you guys have done over the years in the game, so that we can somehow honour that in Infinity Wars 2 as best as possible.
Yeah, well, I think we've definitely got plans for, giving out some special, whether it be cosmetics or, car hero unlocks or those type of things in either of our games.
Yeah, and nothing's said on that regard. It's just that the primary reason why I kept it going was because I didn't want to be if I was a person playing the game, I would want to be able to access my collection for as long as possible. So I hope that you guys can see that whatever it is, 2.5 times 12, we've done our best to keep that open as long as possible until we've got something else that we can show you, which we are proud of, and that we can develop. And so that's where we're at today. So,
we've got something that we're proud of. And hopefully you guys like the beta of Infinity Heroes. There's a couple of other things we can talk about. But first off, a quick seamless transition. Good afternoon, Agent Coyle.
Good afternoon.
Do you know why you're here today?
I hear I'm meant to be watching something, and you're going to look at how I react to it, apparently.
Yeah, so you weren't around in these very specific days. Are you aware of what Aisha is, or who she is?
I am not, so I'm just going to turn off this.
Yep. So, not too familiar on the Aisha?
No, not other than that there's a meme or something.
So you know that it's important, you just don't know what it is, essentially.
That's right. I know there's a video, I can see it in front of me. Aisha Perry reviews Infinity Wars Reborn. Okay, I can see where this could be going.
Go ahead and press play when you're ready.
Right.
Headphones on.
Just do that. Oh boy, the music.
Hey guys, this is Aisha Perry and I want to talk to you about
All good things what?
Aisha Perry for all good things Snapware. And I want to talk to
Snapware.
you about a great card game called Infinity Wars Reborn.
It is a great card game, to be fair.
First off, a little bit more about the backstory. So a long time ago, a powerful source of magic shattered existence, creating multiple parallel realities. These different dimensions then developed into their own paths until rifts between them began to appear. As a result, war began between 8 distinct factions. I love playing the bad guys, don't you? Or are they really the bad guys?
Or are they really the bad guys? This sounds like a bit of like a cross between I don't know, it seems like softcore porn Twitch.
For now, let's just focus on 3 of the
When I speed her up, it's a little bit painful.
Yeah, go for it.
We'll see on the game. Next, let's look at the game. On your top left, you have your name.
Is she just typing randomly or is she actually playing the game? Because
Below is where your
Okay.
objectives appear. On the bottom left is characters are placed here.
This is actually a really, really good way of explaining it all. Like she's doing a good job of that.
Drag cards here. Download Infinity Wars Reborn from the link below. This is Aisha Perry Iqbal at AGT. Make sure you subscribe.
Well, that wasn't so bad. My understanding is that this is obviously some paid review that was done. When do you know what year it was done?
2016, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So is there a thing?
Did
What's
you
the
see
meme come out of?
the way that she was quote unquote playing the game?
Mhm.
You made a point of it. Was she just typing randomly?
Just like
yeah.
typing randomly.
So essentially, the meme kind of sprung from the idea of this woman who's probably played less than an hour of Infinity Wars in her life being the ultimate Infinity Wars player that no one can beat. Did you see her APMs? They were through the roof.
Yep.
Like StarCraft players look at her in awe. Like, pretty insane.
Fair enough. Well, I hope we didn't pay too much for that. So, yeah.
Well, on the bright side,
Mhm.
we can do like influencer marketing correctly by making sure that people have the correct demographics and all that stuff instead of just paying someone who's like, admittedly, quite attractive.
Yeah. That's
There's
fair enough.
There's a shape there, and if you check, go ahead and check the comments.
Keep repeating the first 5 seconds. Okay, now I've got to repeat the first 5 seconds. Oh. Okay. Okay.
There is a very specific shape.
Yep, there was. I saw
yeah.
it. Don't worry, I saw it. Oh boy. Not gonna read that one out.
Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Seems like there are a lot of people who find her attractive.
Yes.
So I would like to see how many conversions we got out of this. Though.
Okay, keep scrolling until you find a comment about Infinity Wars. Do you feel as if you've learned something today?
Perhaps I'm gonna sign off on any influencer marketing costs that go out.
So I got
Infinity Heroes
put
and
them through
Infinity
you.
Wars 2. Sorry?
I got to put all those through you just in
Well,
case.
before we spend any money on stuff like that, sure. But if
We
she was just
re-
doing that for the fun of it,
we
it doesn't
really-
look like she was doing it for the fun of it. So
I feel like the first influencer we need to reach out to is probably going to be Aisha.
Mhm.
We need to get her a return for Infinity Heroes. Give her
Yeah, no.
as much money as she... No?
no, sorry. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to talk about Infinity Wars 2. We've got lots of exciting news as we've been reallocating resources, so we're going to be able to speed ahead with our pre-production as we create more mock-ups, more design documents, we look into the new systems and as well as tuning the old systems from the original game so that the sequel is as good as possible.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, part of that is, we've been looking at the new faction system. We've been getting lots of great feedback from the community. We're pretty happy with where we think, with our first pass of the faction system. But we want to hear what you, what you think about, our changes and the new stuff that's coming out. And now's the time to let us know about that because we are in pre-production. We haven't started coding it. We haven't started inputting the stuff that can't easily be changed. And so while we're writing up these design documents is when we are most flexible and we can most react to feedback.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to be doing our passes on this as we go, but especially the first pass of it, and we're going to try and get that out to people, as soon as we can. Can't give any particular definites around that. But essentially we want to get your feedback as much as possible, as early as possible. So now is the time to be providing that feedback, especially, if we can get something to you at some point, then we'll do that as well.
Yep.
And even if you jumped into Infinity Heroes is back, we've got a little bit of support coming your way. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, if the backers of Infinity Heroes, there's something a little bit juicy in store for you guys if you want to back that. If that'll be coming in Infinity Wars, and so get keen, and that's all we can say from here.
Infinity Wars 2.
Infinity Wars 2.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, because
So-
like the people that were around during the early days of our, I guess we could call it the reconstruction of Lightmare, raised from the ashes like a phoenix in a way.
Rising.
Yeah. So yeah, the guys that have been there since day one, super important. We super appreciate you. We're giving you a little bit of something extra when the time is right. You'll hear more about that in an upcoming podcast. Might not be the next one, might not be the one after that, but you'll hear about it when it's appropriate. And these also, when we made the announcement last podcast about the Infinity Wars 2 Steam page and getting people to wish list, that's actually went quite well, hasn't it?
Well above expectations, I can tell you that. Very impressed with almost 1,000 wish lists likes or wish list checkboxes by you guys out in the community, which really says a lot about how much hunger there is out there when we didn't even push that out with any kind of marketing spend. It's just been, let's just put it out there a little bit and see what happens. And yeah, we've had a massive response. So very exciting, very encouraging. Thank you guys for that. It's really enlivened the team to see that many people actually say that they're keen to find out more about Infinity Wars 2 and to be notified when it comes along. So still feel free to go onto the Infinity Wars 2 store page and click wishlist on that. That'll be really good. And that'll also help with my discussions at GDC this year, where I'm going over there and talking to publishers about funding full production of Infinity Wars 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I looked at the numbers and, like, realistically I was thinking, without any big push and with only like 1 or 2 Facebook posts and a post on Discord, we could probably get like 200 or something in a month.
Yeah, I thought
I checked after 48 hours we were up to 300.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, all right, people care. So yeah, it's really fulfilling to see, and it really helps motivate us knowing that we're in the right direction. People are actually wanting what we're potentially going to put out, which is super exciting.
Well, yeah, what we're going to put out in the end. It's just a matter of how quickly we do it will also be determined by how much you guys can help us out. And that's part of the reason for, reallocating these resources away from Infinity Wars 1 towards Infinity Wars 2, just because there's that amount of money there that could be used, and it could definitely help the production along a lot. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And very happy with all the Infinity Wars 2 stuff that we can talk about at the moment.
Awkward transition. This is actually us after we finished the podcast. We forgot to do the comment read like we wanted to, so we've gone back in time
travel to slot this in before the actual end, and you'll see that happening. But we want to make sure that we're actually listening to you guys after just talking about working together.
I mean, we do a lot of listening, but this is just like video evidence of us listening at this stage.
Like,
cool.
No, we will go back and record, even if it's the 4th recording. We're going to do this because we do want to acknowledge you guys. There's some amazing comments in here that we want to touch on. So, yeah, Corey.
Yeah, right. Start off. We'll choose a positive one. Dice Loom. I can't wait. Your game is truly the most fun and unique trading card game out there. So yeah, thank you for that.
Always good to see some positive feedback.
I can back that up. So
I've got one here that I like. The Animal says patient 0. ... I need ... my patient 0. So, I love that particular one. That was actually the second character that I invented for Infinity Wars as the beginning of the Sleepers faction. Very cool character. I'm glad you love him. He's one of my favorites. So, looking forward to the Patient Zero. He is an Infinity Heroes, by the way. So if you need him so bad, he's already in there. We made sure he was in there early. So,
Cool. I mean, there's one that I can read. It's a bit of a long one, so I'll just read the start. Pope Shine says, very happy to hear that Infinity Wars will be getting a second chance at life. Smiley face. If I heard correctly, collections for IW1 will somehow be honoured or transferred over to IW2. That's an excellent decision. If that's the case, I'll be supporting IW2 primarily because of this. If I were to lose my collection, I'd probably drop out for sure. Yeah, well, that's something that we are very aware of. People have built up their collections. They're super loyal to them. It would be a real shame for those to go missing. We're going to be giving you guys something. We're not 100% sure, but at this stage, if we can get the ability to just copy and paste over, perfect, all good. It might not be feasible, it might not be possible. We'll be looking at later stages because the guys that are making those comments of their collections, they've been around since like 2014, 2015, sometimes even earlier. Like when the beta released, 2013? Something like that? Yeah, they've been around a long time.
And that's like the primary reason I might have said this in the first part, but that we even kept the servers, not being suspended for this long was because I want to make sure that we have some kind of way to actually honour what you guys have got. The last thing I would want as a player is to have done all this time and effort and money into a game and then have it just be shut down. I've personally played too many digital card games that have just plateaued and then just been shut down with no kind of acknowledgement or honouring of all the effort and money that's gone into your account from there. So, yeah. Good to hear that that's the case, and we'll be definitely doing that. So, thank you.
Okay, is there any other comments we want to take a look at?
Have a look.
Just that. So we have Mr. Friendly Guy saying, I think the purity system seems better than the previous one. Yeah, as we've talked about, Infinity Wars 2 is going to have a new we're trying out a new purity system in our pre-production. This will allow us to still have those hyper-focused decks that people really enjoy, where you can, be like, I'm playing all Flame Dawn, and that's like, that's what all I'm doing. That's my game plan, and that rewards you. But then still have room for people who want slightly more flexible decks with multiple factions in it. And so, we're going to be the new purity system. We detailed it a bit in the previous podcast. Where that's still in pre-production, it's only the first pass. We're going to be doing lots of testing of that to make sure it's working properly and as fun as the original, if not more so.
And I also want to just call out Reuben for a second, because he is. Like, I don't think I've seen any other employee that spends his lunchtimes playing card games. You come close, because the number of tournaments I see you go to for Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to have someone like Reuben on the team who's so passionate about card games, worked on Feria, and so we're definitely in good hands with this guy being so close to the code as well as the design of the game. So.
We love you, Reuben.
Definitely. Wearing a lot of hats, but I'm really excited to be able to get this design work in, and because Infinity Wars, the original one, had some really amazing things, and it had some things that were a bit of rough edges, and I think that we can come in with the hindsight, with hindsight, and
2020 hindsight,
and improve those systems and make the game overall even more amazing.
There are two things that I can mention regarding the purity system just by the community feedback. The things that people care about most is communication and balance. When we communicated the system, it was like the first pass over, and we didn't go through a deep dive. And admittedly, it's a little bit complicated. We probably should have spent more than 5-10 minutes explaining it. And we can definitely make a video that explains it in depth, where it's all going and stuff. But we also need to worry about balance, because instantly the second we released it, people were like, oh my god, we can do a build like this, and include these cards. It's going to be broken. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even think. That's amazing that you guys have that level of forethought for it.
And like, made any of the cards. So
But like,
one thing at a time.
Knowing how important that is gives us the direction to know, okay, while designing this, we need to make sure this is kept into account. We had the idea of like, keep balance into account, but now it's like bolded. Keep balance into account. So
and that's where you guys come in, because we can't balance the whole thing by ourselves. Like, especially especially with the permutations that come out of having a completely customizable card game. So, thank you guys. Jump into it. And
the camera's about to turn off. Awkward transition back into the main thing.
But moving on to lore, we've got some exciting things to talk about.
Right. So there has been one recent little update. Something I've been working with specifically with Lady Valor, also known as Josh, who's not Corey, but he's usually in this scene sometimes. We've been working on lore and short stories to help reinvigorate the world of Infinity Wars and Infinity Heroes, and help set up for where we want to take the world in the future. And we've actually got our first one that's ready to be published out, which is kind of exciting.
It's all part of a bigger narrative that we've been working on that includes a particularly big thing we're going to build up towards. But for now, we want to give you guys these little short stories as they come out that'll give you a much deeper dive into the whole universe, and especially what's happened since the core storyline of Infinity Wars completed, and then we went into the Infinity Heroes storyline. The whole universe is connected, and it's basically chronological, which will then lead us into Infinity Wars 2.
Getting in before the comments do, are we making an Infinity Wars movie?
One day. If it has Agent Coyle as the main character.
Of course. So anyway, story number 1 that we're putting out is called Sparks. It features some of our favorite characters from Genesis Industries, including Luca, Tigress, and our newcomer Drayson, who actually made his premiere in Infinity Heroes. And it talks a little bit about, the politics of the world, what it's like to just live in Genesis Industries, and a little bit of the busy work around these characters, and, what they actually care about as, characters and individuals going forward. And it's a fun little thing. Link for that will be in the description. It's most likely going to be published as just a short little narrative as a dev blog on the Infinity Heroes website, but we might find a more fun or better, more interactive way to potentially distribute that. Check the description if you're interested.
And in saying that, we are quite open as well to working with different people in the community who've got particular skill sets and not necessarily a paid position just yet, but we definitely welcome your feedback. If you've got like a particular skill like voice acting or something you would like to contribute to the project, please let us know. Won't guarantee you being able to do that, but we won't be able to bring you into to helping us out if we don't know about it. So just let us know any ideas you have in the comments down below that you could contribute to the overall Infinity universe. We want to hear about that too. So
I mean, just like half an hour to an hour ago, I pitched the idea of like, instead of posting this story up as a narrative, doing like an audio drama type thing. I think it'd be pretty cool. I'd have the editing availability, and of course, myself coming from a voiceover and voice actor role, I'm good enough, but I can't do all 5 characters. Like as much as I'd love to do a one-man type show, like, Mike Myers back in the day, how he used to act like 5 characters, I'm not that good. So, I would definitely need a little bit of extra help if we were to go in that direction. If that's something you're interested in and you could help out, hit me up on Discord. This is going on.
And something else that probably should have been better to put in the earlier parts, but I'm also in the process of talking with different YouTube influencers. So if you have anyone that is you personally have a good connection with that might want to talk about Infinity Heroes / Infinity Wars 2, do let us know as well. Let Jason know, and he'll let me know. And we can do that. So I've got some pretty cool chats happening at the moment, but love to always welcome more connections on that front. I really want us to be able to work together, on the whole Infinity universe as much as possible. As a bit of a change from what we did before. So very keen to connect with you all, have your feedback and your thoughts and your ideas. Let us know below. So
Any final notes before we finish up the podcast, guys?
Excited for the beta.
Excited for the beta, yes.
Very excited.
I'm super excited to get your feedback and stuff on the roguelike, because I spent so much time working on that and basically spent most of my holidays playing every kind of roguelike out there, and now I'm so happy to say that I'm playing our one more than any other roguelike game out there at the moment. So
I mean, I invited him to do some multiplayer testing recently, and he was like, I'm a bit busy. I found out he was playing the roguelike. He wasn't dealing with other actual stuff. No, he was just enjoying the roguelike for what it is, which is kind of endearing in a way. And we're making something that we're proud of, which is really something special.
Yeah, definitely.
Any final notes?
No,
that's it.
Thank you for joining us, and again, check out the beta, and be sure to wishlist us for Infinity Wars 2. And that'll really help us be able to keep the word out and have that project continue along.
Yeah, and let's get everyone into that beta in the first couple of days, guys. Let's get the games going, and we're going to have... we haven't talked too much about the systems, but have a look on the living roadmap. It'll cover that off. We'll make sure there's some kind of incentive, or at least be tracking stuff, so that everything as of the start of beta will have an impact on your account for the rest of Infinity Heroes' life.
Get them currencies, get them grinds on.
That's right, get those XPs.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.